As the first month of the season is winding down, here's the list of the top 10 teams in the MLB. This list is considering not only what they have done, but also their outlook for the rest of the year. If I miss a team, let me know in the comments. And without further ado, here are the top 10 teams in the MLB so far this season. The number 10 spot, the Texas Rangers. This spot could have gone to a team like the Royals or the Mets, who might deserve it more based on the team's play this season. However, out of respect for the reigning World Series champs, they get the number 10 spot. This team has stumbled a little out of the gate, with the stars and rookies not quite performing to expectations. Corey Seager has an OPS plus of 85 through 29 games, and Marcus Semien is playing slightly below his career averages. For the rookies, Evan Carter has been around league average in most metrics, and Wyatt Langford has seriously struggled to catch on. On the bright side, however, Max Scherzer is making rehab starts for some reinforcement on the staff, and Corey Seager will not continue to play this poorly. Coming off the World Series, I'm not too worried about the Rangers' early season struggles. Number 9, the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers winning is not surprising, but the way they have done it so far this season is. Their pitching staff ranks 20th in ERA and 23rd in WHIP, while the lineup is ranked 4th in OPS with the 5th most home runs and the 3rd most steals. Their offense is averaging 5.3 runs per game this year, good for 5th in the league. Their big names and younger guys have been showing out this year, with Christian Yelich and William Contreras being at the forefront. Yelich is due to return from his stint on the IL soon, and when he does, this lineup can take it to the next level. The rotation has struggled behind Freddie Peralta and Colin Ray this season, while also being ravaged by injuries. In a couple weeks when these guys get back from the IL, be on the lookout for this team rising in the standings. At number 8, the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners lineup has struggled to start the season. Julio Rodriguez has been a below-average hitter and is still trying to get that OPS plus 200, while the likes of J.P. Crawford and the newly acquired duo of Luke Raley and Jorge Polanco have also struggled mightily. The incredibly hyped pitching staff also struggled to start the year, but has really picked it up as of late. Luis Castillo is getting back on track after his first couple of rough starts, and Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, and Bryce Miller have all come together to create an all-star pitching rotation. They rank 3rd in the MLB in ERA with a 3.10, and their starters have given up less than 2 runs in 17 straight starts. If this rotation can keep this historically good pace up, they will break the top 5 in due time. Number 7, the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs season has been aided heavily by their new offseason acquisitions and a couple of unexpected names. Shota Imanaga, Javier Assad, and Hector Neris have all pitched well, while the bats of Mike Tauchman and Michael Busch have been producing on the offensive end and helping them take a lead in the NL Central. Cody Bellinger and Seiya Suzuki have both hit the IL, but should be back soon to continue their above-average starts to the year and be a much-needed boost to the Cubs' league-average lineup. The NL Central will be tight throughout this year, but from what we have seen so far, I believe that the Cubs will be the winners of the division. At number 6, the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies roster is littered with big names and are primed to finally win it all after deep playoff runs each of the past 2 years. This team has started off the year with the best rotation in baseball, with 3 of their 5 starters having a sub-2 ERA, and have had their entire pitching staff stay healthy. They have also been blessed with good health in their lineup, with not a position player on their MLB roster on the IL. Their lineup is 7th in OPS, and their staff is also 7th in ERA. If this team can keep up their elite pace on both sides of the ball, then this could finally be Bryce Harper and the gang's first World Series. Next up at number 5, the Cleveland Guardians. The Cleveland Guardians have been the biggest shock so far to start the season, especially considering that Jose Ramirez has not been playing up to his typical standard, and that Shane Bieber has been out since his first start and is done for the year. So how do they have the best record in the MLB? By consistency throughout their entire lineup. 7 of their starting 9 have an above-average OPS plus, and the only 2 that do not are their catcher and shortstop, which are filled with 2 above-average defenders. The stars this year have been first baseman Josh Naylor and outfielder Stephen Kwan, who have both played in all 27 games so far this season. Despite the injury to Shane Bieber, the rest of the rotation and the bullpen have picked it up, giving the Guardians the 5th best ERA in the MLB. The Guardians' biggest potential issue is their bullpen, however, which they have used the most in baseball so far this season. The wear and tear on those bullpen pitchers are real, and they need their starters to provide more length if they want to be able to stay in the race for the World Series. At number 4, the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles are a baseball fan's dream. Almost every player in that lineup is homegrown, and they are all really good. No matter where the opposing team is in the order, the Orioles always have a chance to start a rally because of their insane lineup depth. Their entire team is a bunch of young guys surrounded by a couple of vets, mainly Anthony Santander and Cedric Mullins. 8 players in their starting lineup are above average hitters so far this season, with 5 of those players having an OPS plus above 150. Their young core centered around superstars Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson have a bright future ahead of them. Now to their pitching staff, which has a clear ace in Corbin Burns, who's surrounded by rising star Grayson Rodriguez, who seems to finally be figuring it out, and Cole Irvin, who has surprisingly put together a couple of good outings. If the bullpen with Yanier Cano and Craig Kimbrell can just be league average, this is a team that you do not want to see in the playoffs. Number 3, we got the Dodgers. The Dodgers lineup has 3 of the top 10 hitters in baseball: Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman. They also have Teoscar Hernandez, Will Smith, and Max Muncy, who are all arguably top 3 to 5 at their position. With the top of that lineup, it is hard to lose any games. However, they have been losing some due to the bottom of their lineup, which has had some issues to start the season, with James Outman, Chris Taylor, and others performing not up to par. The Dodgers also recently called up Andy Pages, who has been a stud in his limited time in the show this season. Another area where the Dodgers have struggled, besides the back end of their lineup, is their rotation's consistency. The Dodgers have had a plethora of injuries to the staff, with Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, Bobby Miller, and Dustin May all on the IL. However, Tyler Glasnow has been electric this year, and their young guys have been solid. James Paxton and Yoshinobu Yamamoto have both been solid 2 and 3 starters, and have helped the Dodgers maintain their top 10 team ERA. Evan Phillips at the back end of the bullpen has also been one of, if not the best closer this year, and is currently 8 for 8 in save opportunities and has a .71 ERA. At number 2, the New York Yankees. The Yankees are at number 2 to nobody's surprise after their insane offseason trade for Juan Soto. Soto is currently first in AL MVP odds at plus 350 and has a .981 OPS at the time of this recording. Elsewhere in the lineup, Anthony Volpe seems to have finally put it all together, and the supporting cast of Alex Verdugo, Anthony Rizzo, and Giancarlo have all been solid this season. And I talk about all of these players without even mentioning Aaron Judge, who is finally starting to pick things up after his slow start. All 5 starters in the rotation have an above-average ERA+, and their team ERA is second only to their division rival Red Sox. They have also found something in closer Clay Holmes, who is still yet to give up an earned run in almost 14 innings this year. This year could finally be the year Yankees fans get the World Series. At number 1, the Atlanta Braves. The Braves have been the best regular season team for the past 2 years, and they do not look like they're going to stop. The craziest part of their hot start is that their 3 worst hitters this year have been Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna, and Austin Riley. When these guys get going, as they inevitably will, the already best team in baseball is going to get even better. Their lineup scores the most runs per game and has the second highest OPS plus in the league, trailing only the second best team Dodgers. As many predicted, the Braves somehow got Chris Sale to stay healthy so far, and he has been pitching like an ace. Along with surprisingly good starts from the season from Reynaldo Lopez, Charlie Morton, and Bryce Elder. This is all a necessity for the Braves because of the injury to Spencer Strider earlier this season. Raciel Iglesias and AJ Minter have both been solid out of the pen for them. Not to mention, this is all with all-star catcher Sean Murphy being out since the first week. The only thing that can stop the Braves from winning a World Series this year are injuries and maybe the Dodgers. And that was the top 10 teams so far this year in baseball. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.